Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another recap of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 7, Episode 3, Grand Openings and Closings. So this episode was like packed with so much drama that it was just like, what? From start to finish. I could say this one was actually a good episode so far. 3 episodes in. So let's get into it. So it starts off with Fatima at the office. She basically was calling Andy. Andy ain't never pick up her phone, so you already know what she was doing. Jordan. So she gets to the office and she's like, what is going on? Fatima was like, you would know if you was answering your phone. I could tell by the way you walk and your hair, like, yeah, that tells about everything I need to know. She was like, I'm sorry. And basically she was like, Gary done got the FBI here. The partners is coming in. Basically, Gary is about to flip this place upside down and we're all vulnerable. So all the partners is about to come in and it's not like that. So basically, Andy was trying to say, well, I haven't dealt with Gary in a long time. That man still holds a grudge because you told him off that time. Like, and it's not clicking that, like, he can do everything he want to do, but Andy is, like, off limits. Like, he still wants her regardless of whatever he does. So, she was trying to say he's a respectable person. And Fatima was like, nah, he's a con artist. He's a scammer. So, she was like, you better get your story straight. And Fatima takes her to her office so, you know, they can see how things go. But before that, they stopped in the hallway. Guess who's walking up the stairs? Hayden. So he starts talking to them and whatever. And he goes to put his arms over both of them after a few words were exchanged. And you can see their facial expressions, Andy and Fatima, that just like, oh my God, you don't, like, oh, just get away from me. So that was that. But basically, Hayden's trying to cover his behind. He was like, the only person that has more dealings with him was you, Andy. But that was like a while ago. But, you know, Hayden still messes with Gary. And Fatima was like, listen, you still mess with him. But he was like, whatever I did, that was like legal stuff. Like, so yeah. So basically, Fatima wants Andy to make sure she has all her ducks in a row. She asked, was the apartment and the car in her name? And she was kind of hesitant. She was like, yeah, it is, but I don't think so. Like, you know how Gary get down. Like, you may think everything is cool on the surface, but underneath, it's a whole bunch of chaos. And I think that's just about to happen right now. So they get to the offices and whatnot, and they were talking about, like, how, you know, what things are going to do and how things are going to transpire, whatever. So Danny ends up having her consultation with the therapist. I think her name is Carisha. And she started cleaning up the place. And she vacuumed the table. She got the condom wrapper off. Next, you know, I guess all the vacuuming woke Tony up. And she was like, listen, I'm having my meeting right now. She said she's on her way. And she was like, I need, can you help me? Next, you know, Tony started putting on his stuff, like, real fast. He didn't even get him to brush his teeth or whatever. He just threw his stuff on. And she was like, you're not going to help me? He was like, listen, you can have your meeting. When you finish, let me know how your day's going. I'm going to call you later. And she was like, you're not going to help me? And this is like, he walked out the door. She started finishing. She was upset. But, you know, you get him how you pick him. So she was mad by that. He ain't help but cleaning that. He also left. Next, you know, the lady knocks at the door because she was trying to call, and then she hung up. And then she was like, I see you tried to call me. She was like, yeah, because I just want to make sure you found parking. No, you were trying to see if you could cancel. That's what you're trying to do. So she comes in, sit down, and she starts talking and stuff like that. So basically, the therapist was like, you know, I realize you do this a lot. You answer every question with a question. And she was like, do I? And then she said something else. She was like, yeah, you see you doing it again. She was like, well, honestly, I feel like I don't need this and stuff like that. She was like, so why is the reason you want to do therapy? She was like, because my friends told me. She was like, well, if your friends told you this, and I guess your boyfriend told you this. Like, don't you think that they want your best interest at heart and make sure that everything's okay with you? She was like, well, I don't think so. So eventually that was cut short, and, you know, the lady left, and guys, they need to finish getting ready to go to Karen's grand opening. So meanwhile, at Karen's shop, she's sitting down making sure everything is checked off on her list. Pam is there talking, and as soon as they said something, the lights turned off. Oh, because Karen wanted her friends there to help her. They were supposed to come early, and the lights turned off. She was like, oh my God. Next, you know, the lady comes in, and her name is Chandra. She's the building manager or whatever. And she was like, yeah, I'm here to talk about that. You know, I will have the lights on in a minute, but I don't have the money for it. I could turn it on tomorrow. She was like, yeah, about that, for you to have your grand opening, that's not gonna happen. She said, okay, I can have the money today. And she did just that. After that, the lady left. And then come to find out that her business account, I guess, was overdrawn. And Pam, you could see Pam's face. She was just like, let me not say nothing. So she moved the money from her personal to the business so that the light could get turned back on. So that was that. Moving right along. Tamara shows up. I was just like, okay. I'm feeling her in this little wig. She got her little blue dress. So she goes into Hayden's office, and she's sitting there. Mind you, Hayden's calling Gary on the phone, and he was like, listen, I need you to help do this for me. He was like, nah, I'm good. And clicked off the phone. He's like, listen, Bernie Madoff. If y'all don't know who Bernie Madoff is, look him up. Basically, how Gary is going down, that's exactly what Bernie Madoff did the same thing. So that's why the great reference. So after he got off the phone with Gary, Tamara basically was like, I know you miss me. She gets up to him, and he starts taking off her shoe. Like, for a person that don't miss her and you can't trust her, why you touching her or taking off her shoe? So that was that. They had a little moment. He was like, yeah, I miss you, but I just don't trust you. She was like, you ain't gotta trust me. And if I was behind this whole situation, I would have stayed going and just took all your money. Like, yeah, they had me find out all the dirt on you, but that's just what it is. You know, it is what it is. So they had a little moment. Finally, Danny gets to Karen's salon. She was greeted with her, but she had like this stank attitude. And Danny was like, hi, how are you? And she was telling how she had a stressful morning and stuff. The next, you know, Sabrina comes in, starts talking about how her stuff went down with Rich or whatever, how her morning was going. And then Andy gets there as well. Oh yes, I did skip a part. Sabrina was at work. Rich came to show up and deposit some money, and her co-worker was just like grilling her on her back. So she basically couldn't really talk to him like she wanted to. So she ended up depositing some money. He told her that, you know, you can meet me at the new juice bar because he now owns that. So that's cool and all. So she was like, he was like, you can meet me there or whatever. She was like, yeah, I'll do that after Karen's grand opening. And she was like, oh yeah. He was like, oh yeah, make sure you tell Karen congratulations. And then the lady was like, better his place than yours. Like, girl, just go somewhere. So, you know, he had deposit slips or whatever. And he went on about his day. So now everybody's at Karen's shop. And she was like, I thought all y'all supposed to come in early to help me with decorations, but I'm all done now. And it was like, well, you know, then they started talking about their drama. She was like, we're not going to do all that. Like, listen, y'all supposed to be here to be, like, supportive of me and my business, my new shop opening and stuff like that. But here y'all are with the drama. Like, girl, let it go. So they was like, yeah, sorry, we need to tighten up this because this is not cool. So, you know, eventually everybody's, you know, having a good time or whatever. Zach pulls up to the shop, but he has some roses. And he was thinking of scenarios like how he should say congratulations and whatnot. And he was thinking like how to get Fatima off his back and then to get a paternity test and everything. Next thing you know, Miss Lisa shows up and she gets in the car and she was like, you need to better lock your doors next time. And she was like, you know, this is like kind of confusing. Like, you coming here with these roses. Like, what type of message are you trying to send my daughter? Like, I understand and stuff like this, but, that's just not the way to go. So basically, you should just, text her congratulations, and that's it. And just go on about it that way. Because right now, it's just too much. He was like, okay, I'll just take your advice. So she gets up and gets out the car. He was like, next time, knock. And she laughed and got out the car. So now, by this time, what is it? What else was happening? Oh, Andy, while she's at the salon, she gets a call that she has to come back to the office. And yeah, she leaves. And then Sabrina leaves to go meet with Rich at his job. Oh, and they start talking about how things went left the night before. What else? Oh, Gary and Penelope are sitting together in his office, and he starts talking to her like he don't want to be without her and stuff like that. So he was like, "Listen, I got your favorite food from your favorite food from your I got your favorite food from your favorite restaurant." And she was like, "My favorite restaurant." I don't think he ever told her. I don't think she ever told him what his favorite restaurant was. Yeah, so he got this food, talking about, yeah, I got this food for you, whatever. And she's basically like, but she's been kind of like, I guess, playing it off too. So he's slowly opening the food. He was talking about the food and whatever. And he goes to give her some, and he purposely poured that food on her. So, mind you, it went through the front and the back because I guess it has that oil. So, you already know that joint stained really quick. So, she gets up and she was like, oh my God. He was like, I got it. So, he was like, there's rags and towels and soap and stuff in the bathroom down the hall. She was like, okay, good. So, as soon as she gets up and leaves the door, he goes into her pocketbook, goes in her wallet, take out all her credit card information and ID, takes a pictures of it, and then puts it back in, like, that right there should have get, well, we know, but the people on the inside don't. But that should have get, right, Gary, you in some trouble, and now you try to use her stuff against her. So he ever put her stuff back in her wallet and in her bag. And the next thing you know, she came, and he acted like he was cleaning off his hands or whatnot. So once Andy gets back to the office, Fatima was like, listen, Mr. Leland's coming in to talk to you and see if, he knows that how your reputation is. So she wants to go see Mr. Leland is in the hallway. So Fatima gets him to bring him into Andy's office. And they're talking, and he was like, listen, I understand your reputation, but that slimy, sleazy ball of a boyfriend that you was messing with is about to make this all vulnerable, and yeah, I can't trust you. So he was going on for her, but not too harshly, but she can tell. Next he ended up having a heart attack while she was trying to help him, and he ended up falling to the floor. And then she was like, can somebody help? So that's the person we seen with the boots that was getting pulled out of the office when they kept showing the clips of what's supposed to happen this season. He's the guy. I wonder if Robert's going to come back into town because he's part of the partners. Like, so did Gary really have the money to buy him out, or did he just say that? Because then technically, if that's the case, oh, this is about to go up in the fan. Like, for real. Like, oh my gosh. And you know what? It makes sense because it's like, y'all don't remember, I think it's back in season 2 or 3, when he supposedly took Andy on that getaway and the FBI marshals was out there to get him and left her stranded. Like, yeah, I think that all goes together. Everything he's dealing with. And then at the same time, Zach is home and he has roses in his hands. Fatima's coming down to, she's like, yeah, I have to get my flats right now because I got some more work to do. And she thought the roses was for her. And he was like, nah, this is for Karen and her open. And he was like, listen, I was just trying to, be nice and tell her about the paternity test. And basically, he just told her, like, listen, I know how you get down. And I just wanted to alleviate less of a load and drama on you right now. So I just wanted to do what was best in my interest and for us, because, she's always mad and stuff, so I just trying to diffuse the situation as best as possible. So Fatima was like, yeah, that's cool or whatever. But she was still upset about the fact that he went behind her back without basically telling her at first. So he was like, she threw the flowers. She was like, he was like, yeah, it's all funny. It's all fun again when you thought the flowers was yours. Cause she did though. She did that. That is some funky old flowers. Like, girl, please go somewhere. And then Karen finally found out that the reason why that the business account didn't have no money because Miss Pam was ordering stuff. Like, what the heck? So basically, Trey came back and, took all the packages of it. He talked about he wouldn't be with her. Like, I don't want your baby daddy to come around to hurt me or whatever. Like, girl, boy, please. But she ain't looking, but she looking. Like, yeah. So, yeah. I guess next week's episode, we'll continue figuring out, like, what's happening with the SEC, FBI, and Gary and his whole situation. And then if Karen really figures out who her baby daddy is, I believe we gonna see. But this episode was definitely good. Hopefully I ain't missed no parts of this. But yeah, if anything, let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.